Hello students, in this video we shall see a variation of non-deterministic finite state machine which is called as epsilon NFSM. This is an NFSM which has got epsilon transitions in it. After that we will see a few other features which are associated with epsilon NFSMs like epsilon closure, the extended transition functions of epsilon NFSM to strings, epsilon NFSM's pictorial representation, and the conversion of epsilon NFSM to DFSM. Now what are these epsilon NFSMs? Epsilon NFSMs are non-deterministic finite state machines with epsilon transitions. Any NFSM which has got 0 or more epsilon transitions are called as epsilon NFSMs. And we know that epsilon transition is a transition with an empty input string. That is, if there is a transition from one state, say state Q0, which is maybe the start state, to another state, say Q1, without consuming any input, then it is called as epsilon transition. And the arc of transition, that is moving from one state to the other, is labeled by an epsilon symbol. Such transitions are called as epsilon transitions, and in case NFSM has got these epsilon transitions in it, 0 or more epsilon transitions in it, then it is called as epsilon NFSM. Just take a look at this NFSM which is displayed. We can see that there are more than one transitions from the state Q0 on receiving an input A. One is a self loop on receiving an A, another is that Q0 moves to Q1 state on receiving an input A. There is also another transition on Q0, that is an epsilon transition. Q0 moves to Q1 state without consuming any input. Another transition we can see on this epsilon symbol, that is Q1 state moves to Q2 state. Therefore, this NFSM can be called as an epsilon NFSM because it has got epsilon transitions in it. Note, if 0 or more epsilon transitions are present in an FSM, then it is called as an epsilon NFSM. And if there is an epsilon transition, then NFSM makes a transition without receiving any input from one state to the other. Going to the pictorial representation of this NFSM, we can see that this NFSM has got three states, Q0, Q1 and Q2. Therefore, Q will be equal to Q0, Q1, Q2. Now what is the power set of Q? We know that the power set of Q is denoted by 2 to the power Q, where Q is equal to number of states. We know that for this diagram, the number of states Q is equal to 3. Therefore, 2 to the power 3 will be equal to 8 states, and this power set has got 8 states. What are these 8 states? Empty set. Then we've got 3 single state elements, then 3 two state elements and 1 three state element. So together we have 1 plus 3 plus 3 plus 1 equal to 8 states. Next we check the input alphabets of this NFSM. We can see that there is one input alphabet A, here there is an A, B, B, then there is a C, then there is a B. Therefore, we can see that we have three input alphabets A, B and C. Epsilon is never considered as an input symbol. It is just to denote that there is a state transition, that is move from one state to the other without consuming any input. How do we write these transitions? Transition, we know that it is change of state after consuming an input symbol. Therefore, we can have state transitions written like this. Consider we are in some state Qi and we move to state Qj. on receiving an input A, then we write delta of Qi state on consuming an input A is equal to Qj state. In this NFSM, we can see that on consuming an input, we can go to multiple states. Therefore, if there is a state change from Qi to Qj as well as Qi to Qk, so we have two states where there is a transition 2. When we are receiving an input symbol A, then we write it as delta of Qi comma A will be equal to del Qj comma Qk. Suppose there is a change from state Qi to Qj, but you do not consume any input, then we write delta Qi comma epsilon is equal to Qj. We know that delta, the transitions are written as from some state Q on giving an input symbol or maybe on an epsilon, it goes to the states which belong to 2 to the power Q, or that is the power set of Q. Here we know that Q is equal to 3 states, Q0, Q1, Q2, and sigma is equal to 3 inputs A, B or C. Union, we've got epsilon transitions also. So we check each state for all the inputs along with the epsilon input, transition. Q0 on A, Q0 on receiving an A, it goes to Q1 state and it can remain in Q0 state. So Q0, Q1. Q0 on receiving a B, here it goes to Q2 state. Q0 on receiving a C, there is no transition which is defined, so phi. Q0 on receiving epsilon goes to Q1 state. So we are done with the 3 inputs and epsilon. Next we take Q1 state. Q1 state on receiving A, there is no transition defined, therefore it is phi. Q1 state on receiving B can go to 2 states, Q2 state or can remain in Q1 state. Q1 state on receiving a C, it does not have any transition which is defined, so it is phi. Q1 state on epsilon, it goes to Q2 state. We are done with the 4 transitions for Q1. Then we take Q2 state. Q2 state on A input, no transition defined. On B input, no transition defined. On C input, it is a self loop, so remains in state Q2. On epsilon, there is no transition defined, therefore it is phi. So these are the transitions for the epsilon NFSM. So you can see this is the state, this column stands for the states which belong to Q, and the inputs which can be from the alphabet set or it can be even the epsilon transitions, and they move to the states which belong to the 2 to the power Q state, that is the power set of Q. The transition function is as shown here, and always the transitions are written as delta of some state Qi on receiving an input A goes to some state Qj, or it can be the other transitions as discussed earlier. So the state Q is the first parameter, that is the current state. Then we can have an input symbol A which belongs to the alphabet set, or we can also have epsilon as the second parameter, and then the third part is we are returning the set of states the machine enters to. So in this diagram we have Q0 as the start state, and we can see that we have Q2 as the final state. Therefore, we can see any epsilon NFSM has got 5 components, or it is also otherwise called as a 5-tuple or a quintuple representation, which is M equal to Q sigma delta, Q naught and F, where Q is a non-empty finite set of states, epsilon is a non-empty finite set of input alphabets, the transition delta is equal to Q into sigma union epsilon, because we can have epsilon transitions in it, and this transits into 2 to the power q states. Based on the current state, they can be they can be a transition to more than one state with or without consuming any input. Q naught belongs to capital Q, and Q naught is representing the start state, and F is a subset of Q, which means that we can have more than one accepting or final states. We take another concept of epsilon transition, that is E-closure. E-closure of Q. Q stands for the state of a FSM, and this E-closure is denoted as E-close of Q. It stands for all the states which are reachable from this state Q on epsilon transitions only. We do not consider any other transitions, we consider only epsilon transition. So say we have got a state Q. We have to identify all the states which are reachable from Q on receiving an epsilon transition. One thing to note here is, if we have a state Q, then it will be reachable to itself on an epsilon transition. Therefore, we have to include the state itself whenever we write a E-closure. We will take the 3 states of this diagram. So what is the E-closure of Q0? One is Q0 itself. It's the same self state. Then we can see that on epsilon transition it goes to Q1 state. Therefore Q1. And then we also can see that on an epsilon transition it goes to Q2 state. Therefore E-closure of Q2 is Q0 is Q0, Q1 and Q2. Next we shall take E-closure of Q1. We can see that it moves to state Q2 on an epsilon transition. Therefore E-closure of Q1 is Q1 itself plus Q2. Next we have E-closure of Q2 state. There is no transition defined here. Therefore E-closure of Q2 is Q2 itself. So this is the concept of epsilon closure. We shall take a couple of more examples to understand the concept of epsilon closure clearly. If we consider this epsilon NFSM, we know that it's an epsilon NFSM for 2 reasons. One is it goes to more than 2 states on receiving an input. Therefore, it is an NFSM. And then we can see that it has got epsilon transitions. Therefore, we call this diagram as an epsilon NFSM. This epsilon NFSM has got 4 states, that is one start state Q0, then 2 intermediate states Q1 and Q2, and then we've got a final state Q3. Therefore, we shall calculate the epsilon closure for all the 4 states. Now consider the first state, E close of the start state Q0. We have to check E closure. Now we know that E closure is all the states which are reachable from a particular state on epsilon transitions. So one is the state itself, because it remains in the same state on receiving no input. Then for this example you can see that Q0 moves to Q1 for a epsilon transition. From Q1 we can move to Q2 on an epsilon transition, therefore Q2. And from Q2 we can move to Q3 on an epsilon transition. Therefore E close of Q0 is state Q0 itself, then Q1, Q2 and Q3. Next we take E close of Q1 state. From Q1 state, now we will be checking which are the states which are reachable because of epsilon transitions. So from Q1 state, you can go to Q2 state because there is an epsilon. From Q2 state we can go to Q3 state because there is an epsilon. So E close of Q1 is state Q1, then we can go to Q2 and then we can go to Q3. So we have got 3 states in the E closure. Next we consider E close of Q2 state. Which are the states which are reachable? So from Q2 state, we can go to Q3 state on an epsilon transition. Therefore, one is the Q2 state itself, because without any input it will remain in the same state. And next is Q3 state. After that, we consider the E closure of Q3 state. Do we have any epsilon transitions which are defined here? We do not have any epsilon transitions defined on Q3. But we know that the state will remain in itself because it is not receiving any input. Therefore, E close of Q3 is Q3 itself. In this way, we calculate the epsilon closure for any epsilon NFSM. We shall take another example just to be a little, which gives us a little more clarity. We'll take another example of computation of E closure. So in this problem, only the transition table is given. We shall first draw the transition diagram and then calculate the E closure. We can see that there are three inputs. So we've got an input A, B and C. Then there are epsilon transitions. And there are three states, P, Q and R, where P is the start state and R is the final state. So we have state P, then we have state Q, and then we have state R. This state R is the final state. Let us take the transitions. Now we take the first transition, that is state P. State P does not have any transition defined for epsilon. State P goes to state P on receiving an A. So it's a self loop. Then it goes to Q on input B. And it goes to state R on seeing a C. Next we'll take state Q. State Q has got an epsilon transition, that is empty transition, on, and it moves to state P. So Q moves to state P on an epsilon transition. Next is state Q remains in itself when it sees an input A. State Q goes to state R when it sees an input B. And there is no transition which is defined for input C on the state Q. Next we take the state R. State R goes to state Q on an epsilon transition. So we have got one transition defined here. State R remains in itself when it sees an A. There is no transition defined for state R on input B, and state R goes to state P when it sees a C. So this is the transition diagram for the input which is given. From this we will write the E closure. So we have got E closure of state P. Now from state P we can see that it has got three transitions, that is P, Q and R, two states P, Q and R. But there is no transition defined for epsilon. There is no epsilon transition defined. Therefore, the state P will remain in itself. Next we consider E close of state Q. Now E close of state Q. Which are the states which are reachable from Q because of an epsilon transition? One is the state Q itself, and then you can see this transition E epsilon. So we've got Q, from Q we can go to P because of an epsilon transition. Just two transitions which are defined. Next we consider state R, E closure of state R. E closure of state R, first is you can remain in state R itself, and then we take a transition from R. Because of a epsilon transition you can go to Q, and from Q, because of an epsilon transition, you can go to P. Therefore, E close of R is R, Q and P. You can rewrite this and write it as P, Q and R. So we've got 3 states and we found the E closure of all the 3 states. Next, we'll have a brief overview on this concept of extended transition function of epsilon NFSM to strings. Till now we had seen transition function delta on some state A, given some input A, it goes to some state maybe Q2. Okay, so this was a single input which we had considered from the alphabet. Now, instead of a single input, now we are considering the concept of strings. Yes, the alphabet will remain the same, okay, but instead of one input, we are talking about a string to be processed. So extended transition function delta star describes what happens to a state of the machine when the input is a string or it is a sequence of symbols. So maybe it is like this, any string. Now let us consider the epsilon NFSM as m equal to q sigma delta q0 and f. We know that the transition function is written as delta, which maps a state q on consuming an input sigma, or it can consume epsilon and it moves to 2 to the power q states, which is a power set of q. So this transition function is written in 2 formats, or it is defined recursively. So we write a basis and then we write a induction. Now what is this basis? Basis is a base transition function for us. So base transition function is delta star. Delta star stands for extended transition function. Delta star of E comma epsilon, Q comma epsilon. Q is the state in which we are and epsilon is a transition which is there. So delta of Q comma epsilon is E close of Q. This indicates that if a machine is in some state Q and it does not read any input, then the machine is still in the state Q. We are in state Q and we are not reading any input. There is no transition, it is still in Q itself. That is the basis. Now for induction, just consider a string W and this W is written as XA. This A is the last symbol of the string W. And what is X? X is the remaining string of W. Now we are in some state Q. We are in some state Q. Okay. On reading X, on reading this part, where do we go? We go to some state P1, P2 till Pm. So if we are in state Q and we have read up to X, then we move to some state P1 to Pm. That's what is written here. What is still remaining? We can see that we have yet to read this last input symbol A. Therefore, now what happens? We have already, if W is equal to X and A, we have already read up to X and we have moved to this state. Now we are in P1 to Pm state. We are in P1 to Pm state. And on this P1 to Pm state, what symbol do we give? It is A. So which states does the transition occur? It occurs to some state, say R1 to Rm. And how do we obtain this R1 to Rm? It is the transition delta of P1 on A union delta P2 on A union delta till some state Pm on A. Union of all these transitions will give you this R1 to Rm states. And so if we have a transition delta star Q comma W, where W is X comma, not X comma, this is XA. It is the E closure of the last state to which there was a transition to. Therefore, E closure of R1 union E closure of R2 union E closure of R3 till E closure of Rm. This is the extended transition function of epsilon NFSM to strings. Let us see the conversion of epsilon NFSM to DFSM. The algorithm has got 3 steps in the conversion of epsilon NFSM to DFSM. So we write the representation of epsilon NFSM as ME equal to QE, sigma, delta E, Q naught and FE, where QE is the finite states, sigma stands for the input alphabets, delta E stands for the transitions, Q0 of E, Q naught of E stands for the start state, and FE stands for the final state. We have just added the representation E here just to denote that it is a epsilon NFSM. And now this epsilon NFSM has to be converted to a DFSM. So this DFSM is denoted as MD. MD is equal to QD sigma delta D Q naught D FD. If Q naught is the start state of NFSM, we know that Q naught is the start state of NFSM, and here Q naught can be the, so what is the start state of your DFSM? E closure of Q naught. E closure of Q naught is the start state of DFSM. So Q naught D is equal to E closure of Q naught E. The second step in the algorithm is to compute the transitions for the DFSM. Now consider in DFSM we have got some state Qi to Qk. And how do we get the transitions on this state? Or we can represent it by delta D of Qi to Qk on input A. So in order to compute this, just let us take a state in the epsilon NFSM. Let the state of epsilon NFSM be Qi to Qk, and we have an input A. So on consuming this input, this state goes to some state P1 to PM. We take the E closure of P1 to PM state. Okay, and that is the state transition for this state. Therefore, delta D of Q1 to Qk on A is the E closure of P1 to PM. Step 3 is to determine the final state. How do we get the final state? Now consider Q1 to Qk is a state in the DFSM, and this state consists of at least one final state of epsilon NFSM. Then the state is the final state of DFSM. In other words, if any state of DFSM consists of an element which is a final state of epsilon NFSM, then that state is considered as a final state of DFSM